Perfect. Amazing. Well, really excited to have everyone on the call. Thank you very, very much for joining this afternoon. And this mentor is all centered around getting started as a mentee. This is mainly focused to those that are potentially newer to the group. And by the end of it, we hope to give you a really good idea of what the channel community is about and how you can sign up, and also benefits, tips, and recommendations about how you can make it work best. If we go on to the next slide, we can start with some quick introductions as well.
Just while we're waiting for the slide to change, just a couple of housekeeping bits, sorry. We have the chat function available, so if you do have any questions throughout, just drop them in there. We do have a couple of people from the channel community committee on the call who can help answer your questions, and we've also hopefully left some time for a Q&A at the end, so if you want to ask them live, then that's totally fine. Just for anyone who might be new to the call, we have started recording, just so you're aware of that. Shall I kick off the introductions, Dan?
Absolutely.
Dan and I are going to be chatting to you today about how to get started with being a mentee. We've both been part of the channel community for a good couple of years. We started out as members, we found our mentors, we're still talking to them to this day. And we recently became directors of the channel community as well. So we're part of the board of directors that help hopefully make it successful. So our role within that is being a mentee matchmaker. So it's up to us to help you guys get started on that journey of finding a mentor. And my day job is I'm the product marketing manager for cloud at SEC.
Well, yeah, quick one for me. Similar position as mentee matchmaker. Been through the process myself from pretty much the very start. So ultimately, we're here to help guide you in the right direction of which mentor, as part of the channel community, could be a best fit. We're not here to prescriptively say, oh, you definitely need to speak to this person, but what we're here to do is be that first point of call. We can have a chat, we can give you an idea of our experiences, and hopefully match you with whoever would be best for you as well. We can also help you with the sign-up process and any other questions that you might have outside of it as well. Day-to-day role, I'm one of the partner managers at Distology, and they are a cybersecurity distributor. So very much involved in the channel, and a lot of the people as part of the community I also work with as well. So yeah, thank you very much for joining, and I think we'll get the next slide started with a bit more of an overview about the channel community and its purpose as well. Kate, do you want to kick off with that?
Yeah, sure. So for anyone who might be super new to the channel community, it was started by an amazing lady called Yvonne Match, who has been in the channel for a long, long time. And she's got a real passion for helping people reach their full potential through mentoring, and also ensuring that all people across the channel have the same opportunities and get access to the same resources. So it started out as a super tiny group, getting together every so often as a networking thing. And now it's grown into this amazing, huge community where we run, 6 or 7 events across the year, some of which we've had, over 50 people at. So it's really, really taking shape now. As I said, we're very, very strong on the community and networking side. So all about providing a space that is encouraging and empowers people to connect with other people and hopefully start forming some kind of mentoring relationship. We have a whole team of channel buddies they act as our mentors within the channel community. So if you go to our website, you'll see a whole list of channel buddies who are just ready and waiting for mentees that they can support going forward. And we've also got a pool of mentees themselves. Dan and I are part of that group, and it all kind of comes together into this brilliant community that is all about uplifting each other and making sure we've all got the same opportunities.
A huge focus on the culture of everyone that's involved in this group. So everyone that is in the channel community wants to be here and wants to give back and wants to support. And even from when it was 5 members all the way through to the to these large face-to-face events that we do now, you can definitely feel that as part of the community. Um, One of the things I was going to mention, which I completely have forgotten, and I'm sure it'll come back to me in a moment, but I think one of the points that I found when I originally signed up is I'd only been at Distology for sort of 2 months, and I felt that I might have been a little bit too junior to actually start getting involved with the community. So I was a little bit concerned at the start, but I think what just a word of encouragement is that you're never too early on in your career to get involved in these sort of events and communities. And it's really supported me from day one in building out like my confidence and my actual day-to-day role to where it's been today. So ultimately, everyone that's there wants to be there. And I think what we found historically before the channel community, and this is a point that I've just forgotten, a lot of people wanted to give back by way of mentorship, but there wasn't actually a platform within the industry to conduct that. So often you'd have it internally to the business, but I think there is a real strong power of having external mentorship as well. So the channel community is a platform to do that successfully and a network where everybody can connect and understand more and talk openly about the benefits and also challenges within the industry and within mentoring as well. So I think we're ready for the next slide where we can go into a little bit more information about how to get the best out of mentorship and the benefits of that.
Shall I kick off,
Cool.
Dan?
Absolutely. So why is mentoring important for professional growth? So I think this is a really interesting point to cover. I'll take the first two, but just talk openly about developing skills. I definitely found when I originally started is though I'd been in a sales role historically, it's very different the way that you will apply the skills to a role in the channel. So by getting a mentor and by talking with them in detail, I was able to hone in on those skills that I needed to develop and just put a true focus on to overcoming that and listening and understanding different advice of how to develop my skills in the right way for my role. And the mentor that I had, and we'll talk about this in a bit more detail later, but kind of finding someone in a position that you may want to be in the future meant that when I was talking openly about certain skills, my mentor had been there and seen it and done it in a previous life or still actually within his role day to day. So it's very relevant in terms of the advice that I was getting. And that goes hand in hand with knowledge and experience sharing. So the fact that I could go into a situation and feel like I was on my own in certain times, just down to the nature of the company I work in, we're quite small. Not everybody has done, certain meetings or owned certain partners. So to get that experience from my mentor who had been in similar situations and had given great advice really helped me walk into those meetings with bit more confidence as well, kind of knowing that I've done my research, I've asked the questions, and actually I'm going to go and give it my best shot.
Thanks, Dan. I think one of the headline reasons for getting a mentor for me is that career guidance. The networking opportunities. So I guess in any situation in life, you meet one person, you instantly open the door to over 100 more people, and then those people know 100 more people each, and just those chances of expanding connections, I think is so important, especially in the industry that we all work in. And that professional exposure is, you're going to uncover so many collaborations and opportunities that you've maybe not known before. And then, a big one for me is the career guidance and advancement. I think it's probably one of the key reasons why people go to find a mentor. As Dan said before, that the knowledge and the experience that your mentor shares, they've walked those paths before, and they've done the right things, they've done the wrong things, and you'll do all those things as well, but they can at least kind of give you some advice and guidance on what might be the right the right path for you. I think it's also really the goal setting side of mentorship is kind of falls under this, and really looking at those career growth strategies with someone who's done it before. And then I think in turn that provides you with the confidence and motivation to go and deliver on all these things. You know, having someone in your corner who isn't necessarily part of your immediate team within your organization, I think is like really, really important to know that you've got someone pushing you along and keeping you accountable for the goals that you're setting.
I think a good example just of the point about opening doors and opening other connections. I was speaking with my mentor about a particular partner that I'd just been engaged to look after, and I had not concerns, but I felt a little bit out of my depth. And after speaking to my mentor, I had a conversation set up the week after with the contact at their company that happened to deal with that same partner, and I got some really, really good advice from that. So to Kate's point, you know, opening a door, not just, and this isn't just via your mentor, this is about actually engaging with the community, coming to the networking events. You really do make some fantastic connections, which ultimately will help you in the day-to-day role as well. I'll sort of speed past the last couple of points, but we've mentioned like leadership development. A lot of a lot of people starting out, you know, they're thinking about, well, what is the future? How would I get into a leadership position? How do I go about doing that? What sort of things should I be doing in my day-to-day role to prove that is a good direction to go in, and that's something that you'd enjoy as well. So mentors can often help with that, just simply because often are in like the senior leadership teams of organizations, so they've got the experience of how they went through that journey as well. And I think that final point on personalized support, you know, it's very, very personal when it comes to mentorship. I almost, you know, I feel like I'm friends with a mentor now as well. So it does get really personal. And I think that's important because we all learn in different ways. I like talking, I'm very visual, whereas some are more analytical. And I think being open about the way that you learn is really important. Um, and then that comes with accountability as well. So if you are talking about something, or you're discussing a particular project you've got upcoming and you're having some help, it's also being accountable to trying the methods that you've spoken about, or going into that meeting and asking those challenging questions. And I think when you know that you've got a catch up with your mentor the week after, it does keep you accountable to your own goals that you've set there as well. So I think all in all, these points are quite strong for actually how mentoring will support you in your own personal, professional growth and keep you accountable to doing that as well. I think we're ready for the next slides now as well. Kate, I'll let you kick off with this one.
Thanks, Dan. So yeah, key components of a successful mentorship. We don't have to go through each one by one, but one that kind of stands out for me is setting those clear objectives and goals. And I think understanding why are you looking for a mentor? Why are you here? Looking at the channel community, or looking at any kind of other space that provides this kind of community. I know when I was looking for a mentor, I actually wrote myself a little ad, like I was writing it for the newspaper, that said, you know, I'm Kate, I'm this, that, and the other, I'm looking for this. Do you think you are someone who has these skills who can help me? And just drawing it out in quite a fun way just helped me understand, kind of lay out what I was really looking for. Because at the time I just thought it'd be really cool to have a mentor. But I don't think that's a good enough reason. I think you need to think about what you're trying to achieve. So I think that's a really standout one for me. I think feedback and evaluation of the one is another big one. Just being really, like, I go to my mentor with the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything that's happened that month that like you might not want to tell some people, but I think it was really good to ask for feedback on, like, I dealt with it this way, how would have dealt with a certain situation or a certain meeting or something like that, and just using it as a true evaluation rather than just you know, telling them all the good things.
Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of points that stood out to me was that commitment and consistency. You know, I think and that changes. But I think certainly at the start, it's good to have consistent meetings to kind of keep you on track. Once a month, something like that. Doesn't have to be super intensive or like twice a week. That's probably well too much. But having that consistent time when you are committed to the mentorship and you are building that out and you are you're listening, you're learning, you're making mistakes. I think that's a really good thing to consider. Now, both Kate and I are working with our mentors still today. So we've done this for quite a long time. You don't have to do that. If you have a particular project in your career or particular focus or career goal, you can work with a mentor to achieve that. Of course, you'll likely stay in touch, but you wouldn't necessarily need to commit to this for years and years on end. But I think, being open about what you want out of mentorship is really, really important as well. Some want to do it consistently, but some may need it for a particular point in their career as well. And from that, successful mentorship should, empower that independence to go out there and take control of your role and where you want to take it as well. I think sometimes when you have maybe internal mentorship, which is still a great thing, by the way, you can almost feel limited in some respects of what you're able to talk about and what you might want to do. What if your mentorship is in the position that you want to be in and there isn't another role? You never know, and can sometimes make it a little awkward. So, having that being empowered and being independent and taking your role in the right direction, I think is something that you should find if you are successfully doing that mentorship as well.
I've got a question, if that's all right, guys. Did we say we could do questions, or is that at the end?
You go.
Absolutely, yeah, feel free to ask.
Yeah, no, just going to say, just picking up what you were saying, Kate, and then about rather than just getting like a random mentor, I think that's a good thing where you're writing out what you want to achieve. So you're making a nice match with them as well, rather than just being, a roundabout topic. I want to do this. Well, what is it? You're actually doing it more specifically about, it could be like, I don't know, global account management in a channel industry, whatever. Yeah. So I think that was a really good point to sort of nail it, kind of thing, and then they know what you're trying to achieve. Would you agree with that? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I know me and you, Gary, have spoken before, haven't we, about how the first thing you said to me was you wanted it to be a two-way street and make sure that you were both bringing something to the table. And I think setting those clear goals is a really good way to start that and get everybody on the same page.
Cool. And you can utilize us in that first point of call as well, to maybe make some suggestions of who might be suitable. But we'll go through the sign-on process, and you'll find that every single mentor that's available has a paragraph and description about what they're open to supporting with, a little bit of their career history as well. And there's absolutely nothing stopping you from setting up a couple of meetings and working out within those, first 15-minute calls of if you are a right fit as well. So we'd absolutely encourage that. And, Kate and I are here to help in any way we can.
Thank you.
If we could get the next slide, that would be fabulous.
Thanks, Jules. Technical difficulties getting in the way. Okay, identifying your potential mentors. So there's lots and lots of different ways you can do this. Some of which we've listed out on the screen there. So like we've already covered, understanding your needs and goals and the why behind your taking this step in your career. I think looking within your network is so important. Your network is probably so much bigger than you think it is, just for the sheer amount of people that you're connected to. There's be so many different avenues you can go down there. We've spoken about how often people find a mentorship because they kind of want a career trajectory to go upwards. So a great place to look is kind of above you and look at the leaders and the influencers in your industry and within your own organization. Those people that have achieved some really cool things. So that's a great place to start looking. And then I would say also leveraging social media and online platforms. That's especially if you're quite new to the process, it's a good way to start learning about things, start getting into those groups that, maybe you don't feel confident enough to maybe go to an in-person event just yet, but there's lots and lots of forums and communities online that can help with that. And the good thing is the channel community actually helps you with all 4 of those things and much more. Like Dan and I can help you with understanding, why you're looking for a mentor. Like we said, we've got a huge network of people, and we are growing all the time. A lot of our channel buddies, are leaders and quite senior in their roles and been in the channel a long, long time. We've got lots of experience to share, and we are online pretty much most places you can imagine. We've got LinkedIn pages, LinkedIn groups, WhatsApp groups. We do events like this regularly. So yeah, anything to add, Dan, or we covered that one?
I think you've covered absolutely everything there. But yeah, channel community can support with each and every one. So do reach out after this if you're interested in learning some more. So in terms of the next one, I think we've probably covered this in part of the conversation, but how do you approach your potential mentor? So we've said that do a little bit of homework, have a look at the descriptions on the website, have a think about how that aligns with your career and where you want to take it. And most people have you're able to send them a quick message through LinkedIn, or drop an email over to them as well. So have a think about the way that you want to introduce that, what you want to get out of the mentorship, maybe why you think that they would be a good match based on your understanding of their career and what they're doing day to day. I think that's really, really important to get that right as well. And we've got the obvious ones here: respectful of time. If you book a meeting, make sure that you're there. Do a little bit of preparation, to make sure that you're getting everything out of that time that you need. And then, importantly, gratitude for taking the time, as we all would do. But I think the most important thing there, it's the commitment and following through. So if you have had a conversation, and you do want to take it to the next step, then absolutely make sure to be following up, and getting meetings booked in the diary. I think this is one thing that I sort of said is, don't necessarily expect the mentor to lead with booking all of these meetings. I think I've always said, often some of them are quite they have a lot on their plate. So I don't feel bad for taking I guess taking the commitment to book the meetings and do a little chaser here and there, or speak to Kate and I if you need a little bit of a nudge, but definitely follow through with what you've agreed on and keep it going as well. Anything to add, Kate?
No, all good. All good.
Cool. The next slide.
So getting the most out of your mentorship, I think a couple of bits that stand out for me on this slide is the active listening. These were all your mentors, all the channel buddies, they're super, super passionate about what they do, but they are giving up their time to support you. So I think really listening to what they're saying, take some notes. If it's okay with your mentor, maybe record the session so you can go back and listen back to the advice and think about how you're going to action it and use it going forward. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification, or they're talking about a concept that you've maybe not heard of before, making sure you really understand that. And I think that feeds into taking responsibility for your own growth. Being proactive, I think, is a really respectable thing to do in your career, and taking the initiative to drive that mentorship forward. And you're not relying on the mentor kind of steering the process. It's your career. This is something that you're doing to push yourself forward. And once you've made a bit of an action plan, that kind of thing, you're sticking to it and you're recognizing what you're doing it for, really.
I think that's a really good point. And the one that stands out to me is it's being open and honest. I think it's quite easy to be almost like toxic positivity sometimes when you get like, oh yeah, everything's great, I'm enjoying stuff, especially when you're new as well. I think it is easy to sometimes be overly positive, but I think as you start to build a stronger relationship with your mentor, you can be very open and honest and raw about the way that you feel about certain situations. And I think that's really important to keep a level head. It's always nice sometimes to have, not that this is like a venting platform, but in certain scenarios, it's a really good point to get perspective on certain situations. And often, people have been through that before and have kind of given some advice about what's happened, or sometimes you can be really, really anxious and you blow in the situation up when actually it's something that happens often. I think, it would encourage those to, be as open and as honest as you can be in that situation, because I definitely think that helps you get the most out of the sessions and the mentor that you have. Moving on to the next slide, I think it's important to show that mentors can help at many different stages of a career. So though we have a fair few people as part of the community like myself that kind of started sort of between entry level and mid-career, where I was confident at sales, which is my day-to-day role, but wasn't 100% sure how to apply that to a partnerships role, which is a little bit different. So there may be mentors that can help at that early or mid-career level, but also even my mentor has a mentor, and he's an executive level. So I think mentoring should never stop. I think it will change and develop as your career grows out. There's a lot of people in senior leadership that want to then get up to exec. That also requires mentorship as well. And often we see those doing a complete sidestep. So maybe working within a certain role in the channel, but looking to, let's say, a sales to a marketing role, or an alliances role to finance. I mean, I'm not sure how often you see that, but ultimately we do see side steps as well. And finding the right mentor that's doing the role that you're wanting can really provide some good support, because a lot of skills that we build in our careers are transferable, and making the most out of that is really important. And you do have people doing complete career changes. I've actually recommended, so a new mentee, he came to one of our events in Manchester. He was a former rugby player, then network and security specialist. How do you go from that? But ultimately, he wanted to get that mentorship to support him and do that. And actually, he's absolutely smashing that role at the moment with a mentor. So it's really, really good to see how mentors can help at so many different stages throughout your career.
Yeah, nailed it, Dan. I think we're ready for the next slide. So a little bit about the channel community's mentee process. You can find us on LinkedIn. It's a great way to kind of get your name in the mix and start connecting with people like myself and Dan and other members of the team. We can have a quick chat with you, and then you can head to the website and look at our channel buddies list. See, each one has a profile. They're kind of like on a green-red light system on whether they're like open to a mentee or not, so you can clearly see like who's available. Some people are at capacity because they're just that good. Yeah, so you've got your channel buddy list there. So go and have a look, see who you think has the right profile and skill set to support you in this next stage that you want to take in your career. We do have a mentee agreement that you just need to sign. It's just some kind of rules of engagement that just makes it fair for everybody, kind of thing. You complete the mentee application form, and then it's time to connect with your buddy. So typically how you would do this is just by setting up a quick 15-minute chat. All the links on our website will take you to their LinkedIn page. So they all anticipating and expecting these kind of messages, so you can expect to reply in a pretty timely way. So yeah, just set up a quick chat. Like Dan said before, it doesn't have to be with one person, it can be with a few. Just have a chat, see who you feel like you connect with the most, and then kind of go forth and be mentored, I guess. There's, like I said, we're very big on community. There's always opportunities to be getting involved in other things outside your own mentorship, your mentor relationship. So there's events like this. We have in-person networking events, and the WhatsApp group's always on fire. So they're good places to start. Now we're going to move on to having a chat with Rupinder, who has been part of our community for, is it a year, Rupinder, now?
Yes.
Almost a year. How did you find the community?
Sorry?
How did you find the channel community?
I found out about you guys on LinkedIn. So just to give all of you a little background. So I came to the UK about 3 years back. I moved less than 3 years back to do my master's here. And while I was doing my master's, it was important for me to know about the market, understand the cultural differences, because obviously I came from India. The culture, working culture is completely different in terms of how people work, how people network and all. And I already had a good amount of work experience behind me. But when you move to a different country, you need to understand what cultural differences are there, and the kind of role I was in that made me go out more often, because I've always been in a partnerships kind of a role where you have to network with people. You need to know what your network is, and creating your network from the scratch in the UK was the first bit that I had to make sure that I was on my top game. So while I was doing my master's, I was networking like right, left, and center. And probably it was during that time when I got to know about the channel community and came to one of the events that happened in Manchester about a year back. And yes, that is how I found you guys, and that is where I found my mentor. Because I remember clearly while I was doing my master's, I was given a few mentors, but that relationship never worked out somehow. And I'm glad when I found the mentor that I wanted to work with, I found that with the channel community.
That's great. And how's that relationship been for you?
It's been really good. I've been in touch with my mentor since last 7, 8 months, I would say. The first thing, probably the reason, there were quite a couple of reasons that I wanted to have a mentor. One was obviously in terms of when I started working, I was working in a different culture. I was working in a role where I did not have any network. So right now I work with IBABS, which is a Netherlands-based organization. It's a meeting management solution, and I'm looking after the partnerships for the company. Focus is the UK market, but alongside anywhere from across the globe. So for me, the first challenge was to handle the professional challenges in understanding industry dynamics, because I was doing channel partnerships in the UK, and to understand how does the industry work, what are the kind of partners that would be suitable for the kind of product I was selling to these partners was really important. So I wanted to have a mentor which kind of understood what the goals were. He understood the industry and he could provide me with valuable insights. So it's been going really well. I've been in touch with my mentor quite often. Every now and then we keep on talking. Uh, whenever I go to him with a specific problem that I'm facing, any challenge that I'm facing within my current role, he gives me advice, and that's been really helpful in order to navigate those challenges. And kind of when I implement it, it has worked for me, I would say.
That's brilliant. And do you have any kind of pieces of advice for anyone who might be looking for a mentor at the moment?
See, my only advice would be probably to look for a mentor where you find kind of there are shared goals and there's mutual commitment to growth. Because I have burned those bridges where I've had a mentor, but that relationship never worked because though there was, first of all, there was no vibe check, probably I would say, in very simple terms. When you talk to a person and you're looking for a mentor, the very first meeting kinds, you get to know whether it's going to work out in the long run or not. So it's very important that you kind of share what you're looking for in the mentorship. Are there specific goals that you want to achieve? Are there specific issues that you want to address? And if you can probably set that up very first during those first calls, that's going to set up a ground rule of you working with the mentor in the future, because you have a clarity in terms of what is it that you want to achieve. The mentor knows how they can help you out in the long run. So have that commitment, have effective communication with the mentor very early on in those first few calls. And probably then after a while, if you feel like that you have to be in touch with the mentor every now and then, and if the mentor is ready, why not be in touch? Because I think even after working in the industry for so many years in different countries in different organizations, I guess there comes a time period in your life when you feel that you need some advice which is very objective, some kind of emotional support, some kind of some support where there's no judgment in terms of what you're doing, what the challenges that you're facing. And a good mentor always makes you feel that there's no judgment. You can discuss open-ended questions with them, and you would come out with the solution with the right mentor, I would say. So yeah,
Really good
that's
point.
the only piece of advice that I would give.
I like that you're saying about sort of objective opinion as well at certain points. I think, you know, when you're looking at that career timeline and when you're looking to make changes further on in your career, I think it's good that we're able to offer that and support in that way. I've only got one question for you, and I think it's for the benefit of anybody new, is how have you found our face-to-face events, and have you attended a couple of those?
I have attended those events, and I guess it's good to have those face-to-face interactions. I mean, I got to meet my mentor again in those face-to-face events, and I would definitely recommend. I look forward to the face-to-face events that happens at the channel community, because that gives you a chance not just to talk to just a few set of people that you're already connected with, but probably the new faces who also come every now and then. It's a good chance to network, to know more about the work that people are doing, and it just gives you a platform to discover people who are working alongside with you. And I've not found a network. So when I say that I've networked left, right, and center, I've not found a network within the channel community, I would say, like this one, where people are just helpful. They want you to progress. They want you to genuinely help and get you connected with the right set of people. So it's a really good platform to come and meet people, to ensure that you are talking to the right set of people if you're trying to work within the same industry. Work, because it's a small industry as such. There are only a few channel partners, or resellers or distributed network. So everyone is connected everywhere else. So yes, I am looking forward to the next event that's happening next month. I'll definitely be there because I'm in London during that time. And even if I wasn't, I would have made it a point to come and meet all of you guys in person.
That sounds amazing. And yeah, we have got some details of the event, which is on our very, very last slide. But that's going to be Thursday, the 18th of July, hosted at Titan's offices in Canary Wharf. So for anybody that does want to come to our next event, that is the next one in the diary. We are running face-to-face events and webinars once a quarter. So if you can't make the next one, there's certainly going to be another one that you'll see dropped in the diary very soon. So I think that's sort of, we're running to perfect time. So we'll open up to a Q&A to Rupinder, Kate, and I, for anybody that's got any questions.
Yeah, I've got one, guys, and I have to dash, unfortunately. I've really enjoyed the call, so much appreciate everybody's time. So really good. I'm just going to ask about the, you might have given me this, Kate, already, if you haven't. You know, the agreement between the mentor and the mentee. Is that something you do before, or is there a link towards that? Or what? How'd you get that?
So that agreement, it's not really a formal thing between you and your mentor. It's just when you become part of a member of the community, there's just it's almost like a rules of engagement that we just ask you to agree to. That's just about you know, recruiters won't poach and things like that. It's not really something that you and your mentor need to sign.
Yeah, so that's that link that you sent me in the beginning. Is it? So I need to sign up as a member, is it?
Yes, sorry, yeah.
Cool. And then now I'll have to dash, guys, but hopefully to see as many people as possible, Keith and Daniel and everybody else on the 18th of July. So really appreciate your time. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you very much. We look forward to meeting you there.
And you, buddy. See you guys.
Bye.
Fabulous. Any other burning questions? Cool. Well, in that case, if you do think of any after the fact, do reach out to Kate or I if you have that. We've got again, a little bit more information here. Our website is below, and you've got details there of our next networking event. What I would recommend is if you go on LinkedIn, you can RSVP to that, so you'll get all of the updates coming through to your email as well. But thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you found the session really useful. And yeah, we hope to see you at a next webinar or mentoring event in person.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. That was ace.
Bye.